Hello everyone. Today we're going to talk about creating custom GPTs with ChatGPT EDU. So let's jump in and talk a little bit about our goals. So first we want you to be able to log in and access your new ChatGPT for EDU account. We want to talk a little bit about what custom GPTs are, some of the use cases and the limitations for these tools, and then we'll actually walk you through the process of creating a custom GPT for academic tasks using our new ChatGPT for EDU accounts. So let's jump in and log into this thing first. To log in, you'll go to your CSUMB dashboard and click on More Apps. Then you'll find the ChatGPT option and click on it to log in. It'll take a minute to sign in. If you already have an account with ChatGPT through your CSUMB email account, you may be asked to merge your account with it. This is a very quick process. It's up to you if you want to delete all the chats that you've had, or if you want to merge so you don't lose any of the chats that you've had with it or any of your data. So let's look at a sample custom GPT so you can get an idea for how you might be able to create and use this yourself. Okay, so this is a custom GPT that I created a while back, and the idea is that this tool leverages ChatGPT along with some other information that I fine-tuned it with to help instructors create course maps using backward design and universal design for learning theory principles. So that's what I designed this tool to do, and you'll see when we actually jump in and we create a custom GPT how that process works and how we fine-tune it. But the purpose is that we now have this link to this tool that I can share with my students, that I can share with my colleagues, so they can use this tool. And you'll see there are all these conversation starters here. So this kind of guides my users in the appropriate ways that they can use this tool. And really what it is it's like, this is just ChatGPT that's been fine-tuned so that it gives you very specific outputs that are what I told it to do, right? So we can create custom GPTs to do all sorts of things, right? We can create a custom GPT that is a one great use case would be for our students, where it's like a job seeker assistant, and in this case we might train it on data like maybe industry data. Maybe we would train it on information about whatever the program is, so that way students can engage with this tool and they can upload their resume and things like that, and they can start to interact with it and ask it questions about, hey, what is my degree good for? Like, how can I use this degree to get my dream job? What are some of the competencies that I'm going to emerge with that I can play up on my resume, right? There's all sorts of use cases like that. You can also have really fun use cases where you say, maybe you have a custom GPT just for you and your family. That's like a travel planner, and you upload information about your tastes, your preferences, your, maybe even like the memberships that you have as a family, and you say, hey, what's a great way to get to LA and back, and what's the most fun adventure we can go on. So there's all sorts of really cool use cases for it. You can also do things like, and one of the things that we're going to demo shortly is we're going to make like an interactive course assistant, where the goal is to have a course assistant that is trained on the information from my syllabus and my course map, which has my learning outcomes, my assessments, my due dates, things like that, my learning activities. And it's something that my students can ask questions of and get answers very quickly. So we'll talk more about that in just a minute. There's a lot of opportunities for custom GPTs. And let's walk through how we might make it. So again, this is just one example of a custom GPT that we created. And now let's go in through our account. And so I'm here in my premium CSUMB account. I click on the profile icon in the top right and I select my GPTs. It's going to load every one that I've created. So here's one example. And then we can create a new one anytime. So let's go into this course assistant and we're actually going to edit this a little bit. So let me go back here. I'm going to click on this edit GPT icon. And now we have our creation space and we have our configuration space. And so it's very straightforward to create a custom GPT. All you actually need to do is on this create screen, you tell it, you just type in and you enter in that information. You say, hey, I want to create a syllabus tool. And then it's going to ask you some questions about it. You're going to answer those questions, and then you're going to go into the configuration where you're going to give it the name, the description, the instructions for this tool, and then we'll enter in our conversation starters. That's like the prompts that show up here that your students or whoever your users are can click. So this kind of helps us to guide our users to use this tool in whatever way we want them to use it. And then we do things like we upload knowledge. So in this case, like I've said, I've uploaded a syllabus, I've uploaded a course map, and I've defined its capabilities. I want it to do things like search the web for answers. I want it, this Canvas thing is not what it sounds like. It's not Canvas, our learning management system. It's a different thing on the back end. So I just leave it as enabled by default. We also have the Dolly image generation. That means that my users can message my IST 520 course assistant and they can say, could you generate an image of whatever? And so even though, you know, in my mind right now, I'm like, why would I leave this enabled? I can't think of a reason that a student would need to use it for this. However, I don't want to limit their creativity. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to leave this enabled in the same way that like I want them to be able to write and interpret code. I can't think of a use case given my particular subject matter, but who knows, right? I want my learners, my users to be creative about this. So let's actually go through the process. Let's go back here. Let's create a GPT. It's going to guide us through this process, which is super, super simple. In this case, we want to be really specific about what we want it to do. Previously, when I did this, I actually was pretty casual in my language. I said, hey, you know, I want to create something that's a friendly assistant. So I'm setting the tone, right, for the people who are going to be interacting with this tool. I want it to be friendly. I want it to be academic. I want it to ultimately serve a specific purpose. So I need to share what that purpose is. Now I'm going to show you an example prompt for how we can do this, but really it's up to you. So here's a sample prompt. I'm just going to read it to you as an example. It's just the original instructions for this are, you are an AI assistant for students in IST 520 at California State University, Monterey Bay, taught by Professor Otero. So in this case, right off the bat, I'm setting very specific parameters around this is who you are, this is who you serve, right? I want to be very specific about who our users are and the context in which they may use this tool. It's in this specific class. It's at California State University, Monterey Bay, and this is the instructor. Because this tool might need to know that, right? It's going to need to know who the instructor is and things like that so it can refer students to get more support from the actual instructor. So it goes on to say your job is to provide clear, accurate, and friendly answers about the course syllabus, deadlines, learning objectives, assignments, grading policies, and other relevant course details. Your responses should align with the official course materials and the professor's instructions. Now that's really important because we want to limit ChatGPT's inclination to make up the answers when it doesn't know the answer. So we want to say, hey, if you don't know the answer, do not make something up. So I'm actually going to say that very specifically. If you do not know an answer, refer the user to Professor otero@lotero@csumb.edu. So I'm giving it really helpful context right here, and that's all I need to do for right now. Now I can continue to refine this, and you'll see that in just a minute. But it's really cool because we can see we have our creation and our configuration, and we'll go through that in just a second. But create is a really nice space where we can go in and we can just speak very casually to this and fine tune what we want this tool to do. And then we can play with the tool right here in that preview panel. So it says right here, I've set up your AI assistant for IST 520 at CSUMB. Want to try it out in the preview? Let me know if you need any refinements. So I'm going to say no refinements needed, because right now I don't have any refinements needed. But yes, we absolutely would want to test this out a little bit. And let's go into our configuration and make sure it looks right. So we do have to name our GPT. Let's call it the IST 520 course assistant. And I think I created that just a minute ago. So we'll say assistant 2. We'll look at this description here. That's fine. We have specific instructions here. And again, we can refine this by going to create. We have our conversation starters here. These are the things that the learners will see or the users will see when they click on the link to your tool. So I like this. What are the learning objectives? When is the next assignment due? Can you explain the grading policy? Where can I find the course syllabus? So I can add additional ones. I can get rid of them if I want. So maybe let's keep what we have. I'm going to upload my course syllabus. I'm going to upload my course mapping tool, and I'm going to allow all of these capabilities because I want to facilitate maximum creativity by my students. And again, we can always limit this if that proves to be an issue based on your course materials or subject or whatever. So let's do some testing. I'm going to click on this one. It says, where can I find the course syllabus? Now, what I actually want it to do is I want it to say, hey, you can find the syllabus in Canvas, which is great because it already knows that, which is super interesting. Because so this is interesting because I just created one a minute ago, and when I did this, it said, here it is, and ask me any questions. And I liked that the answer was, hey, the course syllabus, you can find it in this document, but that wasn't helpful. Whereas telling my learners that they can find it in Canvas is exactly what I want them to do. Now, I want to be a little bit more specific, though, because it's kind of guessing. It's saying it's in Canvas, which is great. If you have trouble accessing it, you can look for it under Files or Announcements, as Professor Tara may have posted it there. I love that they give my email out to say, hey, reach out to them for more support. I think that's exactly what I want, but I'm going to refine it just a little bit more. And I'm going to say my course syllabus can be found in the course resources module in Canvas, because this is more specific. This is more helpful, right? So it's updating my GPT with that custom information. So I'm going to click again here. I'm going to say, where can I find the course syllabus? And let's see what it gives us if it's what we want it to be. Now it says, this is exactly what I want. You can find the IST course syllabus in the course resources module. If you have trouble accessing it, you can also reach out to Professor Otero. And remember, I said, but did not, I said I was going to upload my file. So I'm going to do that and see how that changes the responses. So now I've given it some knowledge, and it's actually going to go to the knowledge that I provided it with first before it does web searching and things like that, which again is exactly what we want. So let's click on where can I find the course syllabus? And again, it says exactly what I want. You can find it in the course resources module, and the tool says I have a copy of the syllabus. If you need specific information like grading, assignments, office hours, or policies, let me know. And again, it gives my information, which is exactly what we want. Okay. And this is why we do this kind of iterative testing. We throw some questions at it, and then we can upload specific knowledge, like say a course FAQs document. We want to make sure that we're using the most up-to-date copy of the syllabus. In this case, I put up an old syllabus just to demonstrate this. But yes, you would typically want to provide any other information that's helpful. Be careful about violating copyright. Don't upload your entire textbook, for example, unless it's licensed in that particular way. So it's like an open educational resource, then it would be fine to upload that. Just be really careful with that kind of thing. But yeah, please play with this. Do some testing. When you're ready to create this thing, when you're happy with the results, when you've done enough testing to feel reasonably confident about it, you're going to go ahead and click create. And then you can either add individual people, which is fine. It's going to send them an invite, or you can say anyone at Cal State Monterey Bay with the link. And that's probably more what we want to do, because that is going to allow us to grab a copy of our link and share it with our users, with our colleagues, whatever our use case is. So now you can copy the link and you can distribute this to whoever you would like, and you can view the live version of this at any time. Bookmark this link somewhere, because it's going to be something you'll probably post in, say, your courses, or on Slack, or wherever you're going to put it. And anytime you want to edit your custom GPTs, you're going to go up to this profile icon, click on My GPTs, and then you can create new ones, or you can go in and edit any pre-existing ones. Now, an important note to make about this is that you will not be able to get much data. Well, you really won't be able to get any data except like in terms of the conversations that your users are having with your custom GPT. All you'll be able to see is the number of chats. It doesn't indicate the number of users. It just indicates the number of chats that have been open with whatever your tool is. So it's still helpful information, but it's rest assured that the data that your users are sharing with this tool are do not necessarily go to the person who created the custom GPT. So I hope this video has been helpful. There are some great opportunities to share custom GPTs that you're working on. Please refer to the Cat AI website to get more information about what your colleagues are doing, what's working for them, and to share what is working for you. So thanks for watching this all the way to the end, and we look forward to seeing you in our next Cat workshop.